Okay, for the people that know where I've been filming from, you know where this is at. This is Pine Island, Florida, in Hernando County. It's Pine Island Park. I'm showing right here, I'm up on top of that observation deck. Actually, I had just gotten my my P1000, and I wanted to try it out, so I took it over here because I said, well, you know, I do get a little better view. But this is also, I want to talk about the mirroring effect, not just perspective, but basically, you know, I put this out just to show you that I'm up on top of the observation deck with my cell phone showing you around. You know, do a couple of circles here, show you that I'm much higher. And then I get my P1000 out, of course, and I do this slow zoom in on the islands out in Hernando Beach. And they're floaty islands. Yep, the islands are floating. They're in that mirror. And like I say, when something's in the mirror, it will actually, if the islands were moving away from me, they would vanish into their own reflections. You can actually see the mirroring occurring right here. And that mirroring actually, once anything's past that visible water and into that mirroring effect, what happens is things get compressed too. They get compressed into their own image. And, you know, this is one of the things I want to show people. I mean, look at this boat. You know, somebody would say, well, it's over the curvature of Earth, right? So it's supposed to be over the curvature of Earth because it's being cut off from the lower hull. These islands are being cut off, right? You can't see that little gap in between there that I'm usually filming. And also, you notice the distortion. And there's a lot of stuff that goes into what creates this effect. You know, the angle of light hitting the water, which is the light propagation. Even the wind can have an effect on it. Of course, evaporation rate, the humidity in the air, the waves, definitely the waves. You can see how you don't have this straight line of water. You got this rippling effect, and you can see where that water is actually blending right into nature's mirror. I mean, this is a nature's mirror. This is more or less like a concave, convexed mirroring effect that occurs. And once anything gets past that visible water line, it's just mirroring the sky, mirroring itself. And you know, this is what a lot of people don't understand. I'm just giving another explanation of why things vanish into this mirroring zone. Now, this mirroring zone can be a very small sliver too, which if anybody's been following my videos, they'll notice that when I get really good visibility, I can follow these boats out perfectly in the water, way out to a certain point, and then all of a sudden they start looking like they're getting cut off, but they're not. All right, here's the next part. This is from a low. Okay, here we go. We're in the water with my tripod. The only problem is it's starting to rain a little bit on me here. I got a lot less distortion, and I will get out my camera here when I get on an island, my cell phone, and I will videotape where my camera is in the water. Before it starts raining too much here, I want to get on this bigger island. Okay. And where's that spot in between? There it is. Okay. Now. Alright, my camera's actually down in the water. I'm even going to do this. Get an idea how far off the water my camera is. And it's about 14 inches, actually, about halfway in. 15, if you want to call it 15, we can go with that too. If you want to say 15. There we go. Let me get out in front of it. Alright, my camera's actually down in the water. I'm even going to do this. Give you an idea how far off the water my camera is. And it's about 14 inches, actually, about halfway in. 15, if you want to call it 15, we can go with that too. If you want to say 15. There we go. Here, let me get out in front of it. And we can say 15. Okay. So I'm 15 inches off the water. And I want to show you this little spot here. There's that little thing in between the islands, a little bit of land. And you also got to realize too, I'm in the water, so I'm looking very, very close to that edge. And it is raining a little bit, so I'm hoping my camera doesn't get too wet. I brought a towel and some plastic bags if it does start raining hard. It isn't looking too promising today, but we don't have a lot of glare and we don't have a lot of shit in the water here. I'm gonna find me a boat. Okay, so I'm 15 inches off the water, and I want to show you this little spot here. There's that little thing in between the islands, a little bit of land. And you also got to realize too, I'm in the water, so I'm looking very, very close to that edge. And it is raining a little bit, so I'm hoping my camera doesn't get too wet. I brought a towel and some plastic bags if it does start raining hard. It isn't looking too promising today, but we don't have a lot of glare and we don't have a lot of shit in the water here. I'm gonna find me a boat. Okay, now Alright, I edited this part. I cut out a little portion because I didn't want to bore you with waiting for a boat to go by. But as you see, I mean, look at that crab trap too. You know, when you compared that to that boat. But there's another little bit of boat footage up here. Thought it would be cool to show you. And I also have to remember that Billy Steele's rack, what I've been calling Billy Steele's rack, is not Billy Steele's. And here's another one where somebody say, oh, look, it's over the curvature of Earth. They don't realize that it's within that that mirroring zone, and it's far enough back in there that really what it's doing is it's compressing it down into the water. Plus two, I'm resolving these waves well before I'm resolving anything out further out on that horizon. And that's something too that you know, a lot of people don't take into consideration. To see, I can't see the waves that are beyond that, and these waves are actually acting as a block. And you know, you see these other boats out there. again, it's an appearance. They just appear like you know, they're behind the curve, but it's an illusion. It's an illusion caused by these concave convex mirrors. Now I'm going to stop this short right here, and I'm going to put in a well, I'm going to call it a bonus, a sun bonus. All right, for those that want to watch it, finish watching the video. I will be putting it on a faster speed to a certain point, but I want to be able to explain what I'm talking about with this mirroring. Okay, I sped this up 4 times speed. Try to hurry up through this. Just kind of wanted to show you how my visibility was. I was also low. Perspective here was not up on the observation deck. I do know when I first got there, I had my camera set very low. Actually, this was another day I had my tripod in the water, not as deep as what it was earlier. Um, but you know, my main thing was to talk about this mirroring and how this mirroring will compress things too. If you play around with these concave convex mirrors, you'd see that. And you know, that's what I try to do, is just get people to go out there and try it themselves, um, and do some testing with it. Play around with the funhouse mirrors. Uh, it can be a lot of fun for your kids, friends, neighbors. You can actually have a blast with these concave convex mirrors, but they can also reveal some things. Now I slowed this down 2 times, or I sped it back up 2 times, so it's actually twice the speed. And you know, if you start looking at the sun right now, it's not even round. It's more oval shaped, and the closer it gets to the water, it continues to get more oval, right, until it actually starts mirroring itself off the visible water, and not so much off the that mirroring out farther away. There is going to be some mirroring, but not like some of my other videos where there's heavy mirroring going on, and you can see the reflection of the sun jump way back up. But this is another thing that occurs, is this compression. I mean, look at this. This this sun looks almost like a football. Now, right here is where you don't actually see the mirroring, but it's there. And it's actually just eating itself up in that little sliver just above the surface of the water. And actually, I think it was mirroring well before that. I think it started mirroring when it was, you know, showing a real sign of compression. Because why would it compress way up high? Because that's really where eye level is. It's much higher than what we all keep thinking it is. That's why I say put a level on your camera. Even use a square level and level it off your camera, because the zoom lens is flat and level. It's nice and flat and level, and you can use that and get it level, and then use your virtual horizon too. Um, and look at this. It seems like it goes forever and ever and ever, and this is even sped up twice the speed. But you can use that level to level out your camera, and use the virtual horizon line going across to see exactly where that horizon is. And you know, you do it when you're fully zoomed out, and oh my goodness, makes a big difference. And that was one thing too. I was actually getting good visibility, but I was also getting distortion. And as most people know, you cannot you can't really focus in on that distortion, but to a certain point. Like right here, I'll focus in on this as this bird rack the best I can. And again, this is Bayport bird rack, and you can see the 7 horizontal planks going across it, including the top. And that's why too sometimes I get it on a really clear day where there's no distortion, and not I mean it looks completely different. Sometimes I think it looks bigger, sometimes I think it looks smaller. Again, you know, you can see water well beyond this boat that's out there, even from the low perspective that I'm at. All right, well, I'm going to cut the rest of this video off. This whole day that I was out there, or the whole time that I was out there doing these observations, which it looks like it was a couple of hours, I really got some great footage. You know, I can't share it all. I wish I could, but it's a lot of work to do just to get, you know, to have a few hundred people watch it. All right, well, again, thanks a lot to my subscribers, and thanks for watching. All right, have a good day.